And this is the saddest thing. Like, this all really connects back to the entire conversation about who we really are. What are we? Who are we? Because at this point, we have redefined ourselves so many times over and over and over again that people like you, me, Nick, and Dylan Darius, Solomon, we are considered extremists. Like, we're considered socialists. We're in not in a democratic socialist sense, in a Hugo Chavez sense. And only the things that we're saying are no more radical than what America was actively doing in the New Deal and just after the New Deal. But we have redefined ourselves. Going back to the article you mentioned about the DLC in Stone Mountain, we have redefined ourselves such that what is one time, and I've been blaming Republicans for this for years, but Republicans only have a half of the role in this. The DLC and the Democratic Party, they have the other half in this. We have redefined ourselves such that we move so far to the right that everything that was normal, everything that was regular in America is now extreme. And now we are the ones that are extremists, and we're the ones that's dangerous. But the most disheartening thing about this is that there are so many people, because of their love for Hillary Clinton, I don't know, but they're so willing to just completely relinquish all of their hopes for anything progressive. And I'm wondering, were they ever progressive in the first place, or were they really only with the Democrats because they thought the Republicans were racist?
This is what I would like to point out. Like, whenever I'm talking to people that consider themselves liberal or whatnot, I first ask them, do we have a lot of problems in this country right now? They'll most likely tell you yes. And I'll be like, okay, so for the last 40 or so years, you have always voted the lesser of two evils. You have always voted this way, and here's where we are today. Do you not understand that the way you have been voting has a direct correlation with where we are today? And this is the argument I use against them, especially people that are from a generation before mine or even a generation before that, that are saying these young people, they just don't understand and they need to vote this way and that way. They just have a bad understanding of how politics works. It's like, no, no, no. You grew up in the rise of the right. That has traumatized you. You now look at everything from the frame that they constructed in those 30 to 35 years. That is the frame from which you're looking at politics.
Yep.
And as long as you stay in that frame, it will be almost impossible for you to get out and actually vote for something and try to change the system, because you're fighting on their turf, and you don't want to be over there. You don't want to be on the turf of individualism.
Yep.
You don't want to be on the turf of meritocracy. If you're already there, you've already lost, because that is their ground, and it's too easy to twist your arguments up, to get lost in what things directly benefit you and what things directly benefit everybody as a whole. It's too hard to see. It's too abstract. You have to get off that turf altogether. And I think that that's why we're really seeing that, like, there's a culture built around the right, the culture of individualism, the culture of meritocracy, that it's everywhere. In our economics field, we don't have a difference between unearned income and income. They consider that all productive income, when there is income that's not productive, and then there's income that is productive. So when you work, that's productive. But if you own something and it makes money for you and you don't do anything, that's not productive.
Yeah, but it's
still counted as production.
We just redefine what productive means, right? That's all we do at this point, is we redefine, we move the goalposts so that the expectations from the people fundamentally changes. And now most people think that unearned income is a productive type of income.
There's no distinction between the two. It's all GDP.
Exactly, and then you throw into this mix this fake American dream where everyone who doesn't even benefit from, let's say, income off of interest, right? Interest income, they don't even have that. Most Americans don't really have that in a significant way. Maybe they have a 401k, right?
Yeah.
Realistically, they don't earn, they're not making $60,000, $100,000, $200,000 a year off of interest. But they have this expectation that somehow, some way, we could just, if we just keep buying into this, we'll get there. The bad thing about it is this delusion is now prevalent in the Democratic Party. But as soon as this primary is over, you're going to see all of their language change, and now they're going to pick back up this rhetoric of the left in order to fight the right, while simultaneously doing nothing to actually move us back to the left.
Yeah, back to what Solomon was saying. When he said picking Hillary Clinton could be damaging to the party going forward into the future, this is the same scenario. I tell them, nobody wins 4 elections in a row. You know, it's rare to win 4 elections in a row. So if we don't rebrand now and drastically change from the standard, we're guaranteed almost to lose 2018 and 2020. Those are going to be really, really tough for us. And 2020
And
is
you can't
another
lose
redistricting
2020
year.
because that's the redistricting. Yeah,
Yeah,
you
yeah, that's another
can't let
redistricting
them
year.
have
We're
another
looking at
2
a decade.
decades.
Yeah,
Under.
decade of Republican rule.
Yeah, we can't have
Let's take
that.
a station break here, guys. We normally end at 10 o'clock, but because we have such a full house, and I don't know, it's just an hour went by so quickly.
Yeah, an hour goes by fast.
I couldn't possibly end the show right now. So while we're going to take a station break, I want you to support the Benjamin Dixon Show. I want you to click the subscribe button. If you don't have a penny to donate, all you have to do is subscribe and share the video and go watch about 20 dozen other videos and support the Benjamin Dixon Show that way. Also go to progressivearmy.com, and I want you to register for the blog, register for the Daily Brief to get your notifications on a regular basis. Our authors are doing some great work over there. Last but not least, if you really like what we're doing, go over to patreon.com/the BPD Show, and I want you to become a patron. Help us to continue to grow these platforms and give voice to progressivism, to progressive voices. We're not crazy. And you know what? We'll take it on the chin. Let's get back to the conversation. We'll take it on the chin for this generation so that the next generation doesn't have to argue these points over again and have to rescue liberalism and progressivism rather from a Democratic Party who I guess they've done all that they've done simply because particularly this year, if Hillary Clinton wins, it's really going to be by virtue of the black vote